So if I take you back to 2013 when we started this, the Palabanda Mission Indians, their key goal was to actually create a digital revenue stream, a digital online real money gaming revenue stream. And so let me talk a little bit more about that and give you some understanding about the Palabanda Mission Indians. First and foremost, they operate one of California's largest land-based casinos. It's actually positioned brilliantly between the city of San Diego and LA. So, you know, very strong, very vibrant business. However, like every other casino, their catchment base is probably restricted to a 300-mile radius. And so, you know, their leadership, you know, driven by an individual by the name of Robert Smith, who is the tribal chairman, and his management team were thinking, how can we, you know, expand our catchment base? How can we expand our revenue stream? And it was clear that the future was going to be online. And so, you know, reflecting on what the initial goal was let's create a new revenue stream, a digital revenue stream, and a revenue stream that's going to involve consumers above and beyond our land-based catchment base. But more importantly, let's create a revenue stream by being a technology provider to other operators. So the key strategy has always been to create a B2B sourced revenue stream. The initial idea being a California poker network where you know, there would be a number of tribal operators who would participate in this network. Fast forward, we're now licensed in 5 U.S. states. We've got licenses pending in 3 more U.S. states. We've got 10 customers who are using our products, which include player account management system, casino platform, poker platform, integrated sports platform, and then we've got our own menu of managed services, customer support, payments, fraud management, compliance management, marketing services. So it's, you know, the initial goal, has it been achieved? Absolutely. And now the opportunity is to see how fast we can expand it, and not only through revenue growth, but through geographic expansion, which of course will drive the revenue growth. So feeling pretty good about achieving the initial objectives, and now it's about taking advantage of the market opportunity. When we take a look at our digital proposition and you know, taking you back to the genesis for all of this, it was, you know, building an online presence in the state of California. Well, that actually hasn't happened. But let me walk you through a little bit of the history because it's quite fascinating. So started in 2013, all about getting this California poker network. Unfortunately, we're not able to get agreement amongst the tribes and get legislation passed at a state level. So that unfortunately died a slow and painful death. But the good news is that we were also focused on securing access to the state of New Jersey. So here we are, 2013, building out our platform. Into 2013, the New Jersey market opens up. Regretfully, we weren't quite ready, but we were ready in November of 2013. But at that point in time, there were 11 operators, and all of them had their own technology platform providers already. So we had a bit of a strategic challenge. Do we keep our product in the lab and wait for another state to regulate and license our product out of the lab? Thank God we didn't do that, because it took 5 years before Pennsylvania actually opened up their market. Or do we actually take a different approach in secure market access as a B2C operator, which was in conflict with our strategy, because our strategy was to be a software licensing B2B company. But we opted to do that simply because we did not think we could license our product out of a lab, and we felt if we actually had our own operation, we would have a much easier time securing business. So November 2014, under the Borgata license in the state of New Jersey, we launched palacasino.com. And over the ensuing period, we're quite pleased. We went into that market without a brand, without a database, and we built quite a meaningful business. But what's interesting about that is we built this meaningful business, and we've also, on the back of it, secured our customer base, and it's a fast-growing customer base of B2B customers. And it makes us a little unique in the B2B licensing marketplace, because unlike our competitors, who we've got infinite respect for, but we are the only one who eats what we cook. In other words, we use our product. So when we sit across the table from a prospective customer and an operator, we actually speak their language. We know what they need to be successful. We do it ourselves. So that's been a key point of differentiation for us. This is a period of 2013 to 2018. Our sole focus was pretty much New Jersey, because we were waiting for the next state to open up, and we built a social gaming product. The viewpoint there is to license a social gaming product in states that were likely going to regulate, secure land-based customers who would ultimately become your online customers. But I will tell you, that 5-year period, we were making a ton of technology investments, and we spent tens of millions of dollars building out our product. But there just wasn't a vast market to offer it to. And so, there was a period of time when I felt like we had a strategic traffic accident on our hands, in that we had spent money and we weren't getting an appropriate return on it. Well, that all changed. December 2018, the U.S. Supreme Court repealed PASPA, and that's the law that prohibited state governments from operating or allowing the operation of online sports books. But with the repeal of PASPA, literally everything changed. We started to see more progression at state legislatures in terms of passing not only online sports betting legislation, but online casino legislation. The Pennsylvania market opened up. On the back of that, we saw a number of other sports betting markets open up. And fast forward today, as I mentioned earlier, PALA is now licensed in 5 U.S. states. PALA has got 3 license applications pending in 3 additional states. And then as I take you along our digital journey, the icing on the cake, and one hates to be a benefactor from a pandemic or from other people's misery, but there is no doubt that the pandemic has been very good for any type of online business, and in particular the online gaming business. And so for over the course of the last year, we've benefited in 3 ways. At the early stages of the pandemic, you've got just shy of 1,000 land-based casinos in the United States. All of them had to shut down. You had every land-based casino not operating, and not just for a short period of time, for many months. And why was that? Why has that been helpful? Well, historically, operators of land-based casinos have been a little reticent to embrace online gaming, fear that it might cannibalize revenue. They don't have the technology depth in terms of staff, or just otherwise too busy growing their businesses. Well, now the vast majority of the operators that I have spoken to are all looking for digital strategies. So we're going to see, we will see our sector and our business grow aggressively on the back of that. The second impact has been on the consumer. So you've had a consumer who's had many entertainment options. The vast majority of them have been shut down. And so the consumers that were actually in states that were regulated were able to enjoy the product online, have discovered the product online much more than they ever have. And so that genie's out of the bottle now. The consumer realizes that they can entertain themselves with a gambling product in the comfort of their own home. They don't necessarily have to go to a land-based property. And so as markets open up, and as they are doing so now, we're not seeing revenues tail off. We're actually seeing the engagement with the product increasing. The last and the most important impact of the pandemic, and the one that is going to have a very meaningfully positive impact on the sector and on the PALA business, is the fact that state governments have had their budgets decimated by this pandemic. They are now aggressively pursuing new revenue opportunities, and there's a couple of very meaningful examples to make my point. In the state of New York, Governor Cuomo came out and publicly challenged his Congress to pass sports betting legislation with the sole viewpoint of actually generating incremental revenues for the state. In the state of Michigan, we saw August of last year, that state passed online gaming legislation and then came out and said it might be 12 to 18 months for the regulator to propagate the associated regulations. And so we're looking at almost a year delay before the market opened. Well, the state governor actually made advanced that effort in the Michigan online gaming marketplace for casino, poker, and sports opened up in January this year, and they're knocking the lights out in terms of their performance. It's like nothing we've seen in the earlier states. So that's kind of a long-winded summary as to our journey, our digital journey, but it actually just keeps getting better and better. There's three principal ones: enhancing and improving our product, keeping focus, continuing to invest in the evolution of our player account management system, and that's the nucleus of our enterprise. Is we've got this e-commerce platform. The whole idea is for that platform to make it easier for an operator to conduct and manage their online gaming business, but more importantly, conduct and manage and be able to grow it successfully. So by having all the associated integrations that are meaningful, be it casino content, KYC providers, payment providers, geolocation, building out our own casino content and evolving our own RGS, remote gaming server business, such that we can not only service just our platform providers, we can service all operators in the market, because we've built a nice game studio. We've got 28 games that we have built over the course of our existence. We build 4 to 5 new games a year, so innovative content to complement the player account management system. As we sit here today, we're integrated with 3 of the industry's most popular sports books, that being the Canby product, SB Tech, Sci Games, and we're looking forward to having Sports Radar join that group very, very shortly. Another key focus for us is we've been very successful winning some pretty amazing customers over our short existence, and it is all about, as this industry's grown, as we become more busy, we've got to grow our organization to make sure that we continue to service those customers at a level that they've been used to in terms of dealing with us historically. And in my hope is, in fact, improving the level of service for those customers. And then the last area of focus is geographic expansion. What we're seeing in the United States, as I mentioned earlier, really on the back of the pandemic, we've got more state governments who are embracing the online gaming sector as a source of new tax revenue, positioning our organization to very efficiently and cost effectively move into those new markets, get our products regulated, get the company and management regulated. And our customers are demanding this, and so we want to be able to keep pace with not only our existing customers, but new customers that are landing on our doorstep. So that's what the next 3 years is going to be all about for us. Very, very focused, not particularly complex strategy, but one that requires 7/24 dedication and effort to make it happen.